Hi and welcome back to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀𝗀. My name is Nick, and today, guys, we're jumping back into the world of Terra Luna, and we're going to be taking a look at a couple of things. And one, the price chart of Terra Classic, and obviously Luna. But I think more importantly, whether or not the US has been thrown under the bus. So as I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀𝗀. If you have not yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find on down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Okay, guys. Let's get into this then and start things off by obviously seeing that we got a chart here, right, for Luna Classic now on KuCoin. It's been a few hours old. I can't find anything else on Binance though, so this is basically the ticker LUNC, and we got to compare to UST, but if we can check any of these just using this ticker, and you can kind of see here, you got it on Uniswap and KuCoin, okay, and you got it by Tether pair or USDC pair. So if I throw USDC pair on there, you can kind of see it's the same thing. So hopefully we'll get some more data. There's been a little bit of a bump in price here over the last few hours. It's about 25% approximately, depending on which pair that you're going to look at. So yeah, interesting growth has been seen there. We basically moved from 0.00011 up to a high point of 0.00013. So interesting kind of stuff. But the main point of this video is to talk about something really that cropped up yesterday with our community. That I was unaware of this until it kind of came up. Now, many exchanges have actually supported the airdrop for the new Terra Luna network. Now, Binance is one of these, but I think it's important that we actually break down what's gone on inside this document in a little bit more detail. So basically, this announcement from Binance, it reads the following, right? Binance will support the Terra network airdrop. And you're thinking, fantastic, Binance are going to support it. That's awesome. However, there's a few things in here that I just generally doesn't make sense. The terminology doesn't make sense, and there are a few then question marks and concerns, right? So basically, Binance will rename the current Terra network as Terra Classic network and support the Terra network airdrop. So again, this is in line with the proposal that was, I guess I want to say approved. That's probably not the right word. It had the most amount of votes for yes. So Luna and UST tokens of the Classic network will henceforth be referred to in this announcement as Luna Old and UST Old. Okay, so straight away we know that they're going to call it Luna Old and UST Old for the purpose of this announcement. That's not what they're going to be called in the ticker. It's obviously going to be LUNC and USTC for those tickers going forward, okay, and we'll get to that in a moment. So Luna Old and UST Old trading suspension. So basically, the old Luna and the old UST deposits withdrawals will be suspended. I think this is 1400 hours UTC yesterday, or 2 days ago, actually, by the looks of it. Withdrawals have been suspended 2 days ago, sorry. So that was the 26th of May. Now, Luna BUSD and UST BUSD spot trading pairs will be suspended, and all pending spot orders will be cancelled, and that is on the 26th of May. 1500 hours UTC. Okay, so Luna Old and UST Old ticker changes between to Luna C and USTC right, retrospectively, so LUNC and USTC. Essentially, we spoke about that. So that's some pretty much standard stuff, pretty easy to kind of get a head around. So the ticker for Luna Old will be basically renamed to LUNC, and the ticker for UST Old token will be renamed as USTC. So pretty standard stuff. Now, say Luna, but LUNC and USTC trading resumptions. So basically, trading will open for LUNC and the Binance pair, or BUSD, and the USTC BUSD spot trading pairs. They're going to be reopened at on the 30th of May at 9:30 UTC. So we're about 2 days away for those pairs to get opened up. So obviously, as we had here, for example, we can already see that KuCoin are ahead of Binance in terms of that trading. Okay, but this is the schedule that they've got at the point of recording this video. So the new Lunar airdrop, this is the one thing that's really interesting or worrying and concerning, and for a couple of reasons, right? And this is why it cropped up in the community yesterday. Detailed airdrop rules. Okay, so this is broken down into 2 buckets. Okay, we've got the pre-attack, well, what I call pre-quant. Okay, and then we've got the post-attack or post-quant, right? And those are the 2 buckets. Okay, and we've got pre-attack, pre-quant. Basically, you're only going to see anything if you have old Lunar, okay, or Anchor UST, AUST. What is not mentioned here at all, although there is a little asterisk right there, there is no mention of regular UST. And this is what is really interesting about the terminology that gets used here. Now, that asterisk is really important because if I find it somewhere in here, there's an asterisk. Here it is. So the asterisk means this, right? Users staked UST old with Binance staking would then be staked on chain with Anchor UST, AUST, as a yield-bearing token. Thus, UST old staking users on Binance will also be covered in the plan. Fine. So that asterisk there basically means that if you're staking UST on Binance before Quan or pre-Quan, then essentially that means you're going to get AUST, okay, going forward. What is not mentioned here at all for the pre-attack or pre-Quan is UST that's just held in your spot wallet. That doesn't seem to be covered here. Now, there's no mention of it in this entire document, and I'll go through this entire thing with you guys, but there's no mention of it. So that's a concern. If you're just holding UST, not staking it, and you know before the attack, then what's actually going on? Are you just falling through the cracks? Are you being ignored? Are you not having your voice heard? It's interesting. Okay, so if you just owned UST and you weren't staking it, ultimately, it looks like you're not going to get anything, right? Let me know in the comments below if you know any more information about that. But let's just say the snapshot. This was basically the 7th of May at basically 1500 hours. The block height itself is actually 7,544,910. So that's the actual block number that the snapshot took place for anything before the attack or before Quan adjusted his algorithmic stablecoin. Recovery type, basically only people with less than 10,000 Lunar being held, less than 10,000 Lunar holding, less than 1 million. Not sure if that's the right way around, but there you go. Greater than 1 million. And then we've got Lunar old and UST hold staking right here. Okay, so we've got 4 buckets in the recovery type. Now, the asset distributed is all new Lunar, whether you're in any of those brackets. But the difference is how you actually get your distributed tokens, right? So I think that's supposed to be more than 10,000, not less than. So more than less than 10,000, you basically get your 30% upfront, and then you get 70% vested over a 2-year period. Right, that's kind of the same plan as always. I think this is over 10,000, but less than 1 million. And they've just got that the wrong way around. That needs to change. Basically, you're getting your rewards from 2023 onwards, distributed over 24 months, right? Nothing up front. More than 1 million, basically, it's a 48-month vesting period. You kind of know this by now. We've covered it before. Staking users, again, this is 30% up front and then 70% over 24 months. And there's no limits on that. So you could have had 1 million Lunar staked, and then you would end up getting 30%. That's interesting. But if it wasn't staked, then and so forth. Anyway, nonetheless, you kind of get the idea. The distribution plan is the distribution plan. That hasn't changed. Post-attack, we have old Lunar and UST holding. Right, so this is where things get even more confusing. Okay, so basically, UST old was not included in the pre-attack, but it is now included in the post-attack, which means if you bought UST at discounted rates, you're now included in the snapshot and the airdrop. But if you had it before the attack, you're not involved, which is just odd. Let me know in the comments if you can make sense of the logic behind that. But here we obviously have the block height being 7 million. 790,900. That's the snapshot for the post attack or post quant. Now, this is all about retail investors. That's the recovery type, apparently. It's retail investors. And this is all for new Luna, and you're basically getting 30% upfront, 70% invested over time. What they don't tell you is it's 10%. Actually, I think it's like 0.000015 of a new Luna to an existing Luna, something like that. But there's a breakdown somewhere. You can just do a quick Google search on that, and you should be able to find it. But as we come on down here, there's a couple of things that's also worth noting, right? And very important stuff now. So this is really where we want to be paying attention. So please note, the pre-attack snapshot will include Luna old balances in spot accounts, margin accounts, savings accounts, staking accounts, coin margin futures accounts, but will exclude USDT margin futures accounts, okay? So we know that Luna balances, just Luna, not UST, but Luna balances in your spot, your margin, your savings, your staking, your coin margin futures, but not your UST margin futures, okay, are covered. Now, the post-attack, Luna and UST, and again, they've mentioned it only for the post-attack, not the pre-attack. So it's like UST holders are being thrown under the bus. And these are basically in your spot account, okay? Now, Luna old and UST old borrowed from margin or crypto loans, or Luna old and UST old transferred to spot accounts from these accounts will not qualify for the airdrop, okay? So if you've borrowed any Luna or UST from margin or crypto loans, that you're not included, okay? That's off record. Now, Binance Staking will make a further announcement with more details related to the airdrop for users with Luna old and UST old in their staking accounts, okay, locked staking accounts. So expect another announcement from the staking side. But this is really where it gets worse, right? All of this is interesting, but I find if you've owned the stablecoin before the attack, you've been thrown under the bus by the looks of it. That's how I read this communication. But it gets worse. It gets worse because US persons, entities, sanctioned countries are not eligible to receive the airdrop, which basically means if you're in the US or you're a sanctioned country or an entity in the US, you're basically you're excluded. You're not involved, right? So this is for everyone else except for you. I feel that this is really shitty of Binance personally. I know there's probably really good reasons for it. I know the US have really strict regulations around stuff, specifically with crypto. I mean, not regulations is probably a really bad way of phrasing that. I think Binance really struggles to deal with regulations over in the US more so than other countries. So generally speaking, they're excluded from a lot of things. Obviously, there's tax implications and everything else as well with airdrops and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, they've definitely got the raw end of the deal here. You're screwed if you just had UST as a stable coin before the attack, right? You're just going to be excluded from Binance in that respect. At least that's how I read this document. And then if you're in the US, and you had Luna or UST, you're completely thrown under that bus, and there's nothing you're going to get out of this. So hopefully, everyone who had Luna or UST before the attack wasn't on Binance, or at least was staked on Binance at the best case. If you're in the US, hopefully you weren't on Binance, and maybe you had got that stuff covered off in maybe Terra Station or something else like that. And if you're post-attack, hopefully if you're in the US and you have got Luna or UST, maybe hopefully you got it off of the exchange before the snapshot. That's kind of the best I can hope. But I am going to leave the video there. If you found it somewhat useful, informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.